Well, hello there, and welcome to a very special edition of the Mr. Credit Show. Derek Evans here, of course, Mr. Credit, and today with me, joining me via Google Hangout, is Frederick Remick from San Diego Realty Brokers. How's it going, Frederick?
Excellent, Derek. How are you?
Doing well, sir. You came on my radio show recently, and we had some great discussions about different things that were happening in the San Diego real estate market. One of the things that we didn't quite have time to get into that we're taking offline now, or now back online, is some of the more undervalued areas or the best places to buy or be looking at and hawking for investors. So I wanted to kick things off today by just kind of getting from your perspective, where are some of those areas that you would consider to be undervalued, where you could still find deals or where there might still be development opportunities?
Sure. I think that's a great question. A lot of times in San Diego, we've got this divergent community. We've got the North County, which is typically, master plan communities with family homes, super clean, mini malls, golf courses, parks. And then we've got the south area of the region, which is considerably more dicey in some areas. And actually, some of those areas, believe it or not, are areas where you're going to find opportunity for investment because they haven't been built out and they haven't had the same kind of push for redevelopment.
So what are some of those areas that you're talking about?
I think if you look at basically everything east of downtown, so you've got Logan Heights, Sherman Heights, which is basically the upper part of Logan Heights going up the hill towards Golden Hill. Golden Hill is another area, although Golden Hill has seen so much appreciation because of the movement of South Park going south into Golden Hill, that Golden Hill's, I wouldn't say it's tapped out, but it's certainly close to being tapped out. Versus if you go down the hill towards the harbor, you go through, like I said, Grant Hill, Sherman Heights, and Logan Heights. These areas are opportunity central.
Now, for people who know about those areas and think that they are too dicey, as you put it earlier, how would you take advantage of this knowledge today? If you say, okay, well, I'm looking for a good real estate investment. This is going to be a big part of my retirement or whatever it may be. How would you get involved in these communities if you can tell that 10, 15, 20 years down the road they're going to be a really good place to own real estate?
Yeah. Again, it's kind of like if you look at the Normal Heights the way it was 10 years ago, I would, and Golden Hill for that matter, I'd look at it like that. You're going to have blocks that are great, and then you're going to have a block that looks like, South Central Los Angeles, something like that. Maybe not that bad, but the point is that you have to look at the way where development is moving, and that can be a street-by-street basis. In that particular area, the further east you go, the worse it gets. So there probably is a sweet spot around 28th Street, 29th, around there, around National and Logan, that particular area right there. Kind of just where the Coronado Bridge starts, that particular area in there seems to be a lot of investment going on with businesses, restaurants. You got Cafe Moto, which is the top coffee bean roaster in San Diego. They supply all the restaurants. So there's a lot of really cool things going on down there. So that tells me that's a good place to invest.
So if I'm the average person who's looking to buy a house, is this an area that's too risky for me, or is it something where you could go in and you could buy an investment property and then expect that it'll appreciate over time?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, you can definitely buy an investment property, especially from a rental standpoint. Rents are very strong down there. The other thing we didn't talk about is we don't know what type of development will happen going east out of downtown, i.e. a stadium, that infrastructure. That could really, really affect the values, 5 blocks over in Logan Heights. So yeah, I think it's a really good opportunity to buy something pretty near bottom of market, and there's only going to be appreciation in those areas. They're only getting better.
What do you think about Barrio Logan?
Which is kind of right next to that. Barrio Logan has the same opportunities, however, it remains mainly residential. So that means that when things, say, turn for the better, it's going to take gentrification. So if there's 200 homes in a 5-block radius, it's going to take half of those homes being turned over to people who want to fix them up, for example, versus Logan Heights, Sherman Heights actually have commercial, residential, multi-use development, shops, restaurants, coffee shops, etc. That tends to push the area towards rehabilitation quicker, in my opinion.
I see. Okay. When there's commercial investment going on,
Yeah.
you tend to get more of the lobby you need to make all that stuff happen. That makes sense.
I think so.
So, based on your website, Chula Vista Homes for Sale.house, I'm assuming that you might be partial to what's going on in the South Bay as well, as far as opportunities are concerned.
Yes. So South Bay is, what's really interesting is you again, it's kind of the same as up here, but you've got the old area, Chula Vista, which is where I see really good values in investment. And the reasoning is because, I think we talked about this on your show last time, that Third Ave area, which used to be back in the 40s and 50s, a cruising area. You know, people would get in their cars and they'd cruise the boulevard there, and there were soda shops and bars and restaurants and movie theaters, and over time that area became kind of beat up, and the city has made a conscious effort to put money back into it. Now you have a whole redevelopment plan that goes from H Street all the way up to E Street, and because of that, the housing areas around it, you can go 5-6 blocks in any direction around that radius, are getting very good. And the prices are going up a bit, but it's still kind of at its infancy in the redevelopment. So I think that's really the place in the South County I would look at.
Okay, so a very specific area that you think is going to appreciate well down south.
Yeah.
Any other areas we should have our eyes on around San Diego County?
I think everything. When you're looking at purchasing a home, there's a difference whether you're investing or living in it. Certainly. For people who are looking to live in properties, let's say you've got a small family, you want good schools, you want parks, but you can't afford to live in a Point Loma or La Jolla or Del Mar. I think that there's some viable alternatives in like San Carlos, which is near Lake Murray, La Mesa, especially North La Mesa. Those are two areas I really like. There are even sections of the college area near Rolando that are still really good for that. So I think there's opportunities in those areas as well.
Okay, makes sense to me. Great speaking with you as always. That's Frederick Remick, San Diego Realty Brokers. Chula Vista Homes for Sale.house is his website. Find more on mrcredit.org. See you soon.